My name is Matt Burkheiser, and I'm board chair of the Community College of Philadelphia. Good morning, everyone. I asked for a gavel, but they won't give me one, so good morning, everyone. Again, I'm Matt Burkheiser, board chair of the Community College of Philadelphia. I am truly pleased to be here today and truly honored to introduce our next speaker and my mayor, Michael A. Nutter of Philadelphia. It's going to be an easy intro. I'll keep pausing for applause in there. Mayor Nutter took the helm of our nation's fifth largest city in 2008 and almost instantly inherited the impacts of the global financial crisis on urban America. But that didn't stop the mayor and his team from cultivating a city that is safer, more welcoming to people and to businesses, friendlier to the environment, and sounder financially. So much so that for the first time in 35 years, all three major bond rating agencies have placed Philadelphia in the A category. In my work running an economic development organization in West Philadelphia, which I used to describe as my day job until I became chair of a community college board, but in my other work, I get to see firsthand what it's like to work with the Nutter administration every single day. And I have to tell you that it's pretty inspiring. Their partnership allows us and scores of civic and business organizations to invest in green space and iconic public plazas, transform commercial corridors, bring long-abandoned houses back to life, benefit from a restructured workforce system that streamlines investments in job training, and develop within the framework of a city zoning code that's been reimagined for the first time in 50 years. In short, the mayor and his team have done the things that help to make a city great. But we all know that what really transforms a city is education. That's why all of us are here this week, and that's why Mayor Nutter, I think, has been as committed to this issue as any elected official in the country. That's why his administration is focused relentlessly on the K-12 system and on successfully strengthening our city's college completion rate. And that's also why Mayor Nutter joined the Board of Trustees of Community College of Philadelphia in 2012. I can tell you as board chair that the mayor has been everything we'd wish a community college trustee to be. He's given us his time, his ideas, and certainly not least of all, his resources to help make the college a stronger place. He's given us the great gift of 10,000 small businesses, the community college partnership with Goldman Sachs that allows us to bring transformative education in business and entrepreneurship to our city's residents. He's given us a national perspective on issues that matter through his role as the immediate past president of the U.S. Conference of Mayors. And finally, he's given us an understanding of the indispensable link between education and a city's prospects, and between the work of city government and the work of community colleges. And for that, we're all deeply grateful. So it's my pleasure and certainly my honor to introduce Mayor Michael A. Nutter of Philadelphia.
Good morning, everyone, and Matt, thank you very, very much for that introduction. It is a great honor to be with you, and let me say to all of my fellow trustees of community colleges all across the United States of America, thank you for this wonderful opportunity. To the presidents of those community colleges, our deepest appreciation to all of you. I have a number of folks that I need to thank and recognize. And first, I want to say to Robin Smith, Chair-elect, the ACCT Board of Directors, thank you so much for that break in between Norm Ornstein and myself. When I came in, he was talking about the issue of race, and then we started having conversations about Bill Clinton and Hillary Clinton and a whole bunch of other things. And so I greatly appreciate that there was a little bit of a break, that I didn't have to come right after him, but that he left so many of you here for me to talk to. But let's give it up again for our starting of the morning speaker. I now have a little better understanding of rush hour D.C. traffic, including the occasional motorcade, and got stuck in whoever was coming through town just a little while ago. But fortunately, Norm was still speaking. Got a little bit of Philly love as I came into the hotel this morning. Of course, I was greeted by our Vice President Lynette Brown-So, but also the manager at this hotel, most recently was relocated from Philadelphia, Bill Walsh. So I want to thank Bill for his hospitality here at this Marriott as he has headed other Marriott properties throughout the United States and certainly Philadelphia. To our Board of Trustees, not only our chair, Matt, but Jerry White is here, Stella Stye is here from our board, and all my fellow board members. Our interim president, Judith Gay, is here with us. Please give Dr. Judith Gay a big, big round of applause. Dr. Gay. You have a number of leaders here in the room. I'd just like to recognize a couple of them. Walter Bumpus, who of course is president and CEO, the American Association of Community Colleges. David Boehm, who is the vice president of AACC. J. Noah Brown, president and CEO of the Association of Community College Trustees, and Elizabeth Bolton, who is the executive director of the Pennsylvania Association of Community Colleges. Please recognize them, as well as Leroy Mitchell, chair, Association of Community College Trustees, and Jane Karras, chair, Association of Community College Trustees. Please recognize all of them. It is certainly great to be here from Philadelphia. Philly is my hometown, born, raised, educated, and created all of my trouble in the city of Philadelphia. And I am a very proud board member of CCP, Community College of Philadelphia. I'm proud to serve on my city's Community College Board of Trustees for many reasons, none more than just because I am the mayor of our great city, and I know that addressing the challenges of education will make our city and our nation the great place that we want it to be, but everything that we do comes back to a focus on education. When I was sworn in, as Matt mentioned, on the first day, January 7th, 2008, I made it clear that our top goals in our city administration would not only be to make Philadelphia a safer city, but also a smarter city and expand opportunities for all Philadelphians to succeed educationally and economically. In that first inaugural address, I announced two ambitious goals for education in the city of Philadelphia. One, that we needed to increase the four-year citywide high school graduation rate to 80% by 2015, and that we must double the percentage of Philadelphians with a four-year college degree from 18% to 36% by 2018. Now, you, of course, may or may not understand that at least in Philadelphia, the mayor is not directly in control of the K-12 education system, and of course has no control whatsoever over the college system. Nonetheless, I thought that setting goals for our city and our citizens was critically important, especially for education. Now, I set these very challenging, but I believe doable goals because education is the key to our crime reduction strategy, it's the key to our economic development strategy, it's the key to our poverty reduction strategy, it's the key to improving the quality of life for all Philadelphians. And despite, as again, Ms. Matt mentioned, the unprecedented economic crisis that all cities face, and certainly our city, our school district, and our colleges and universities, I can report to you this morning that we have made some progress. The on-time high school graduation rate has climbed from 53% in 2007 to 64% in Philadelphia. The number of students completing four-year degrees when I came into office was 18%. That number today is nearly 25%. Some progress, not enough, more work to do. I believe we can reach our goals, but we still have much to do in our locality. And I know many of you face the same challenges in cities all across the United States. Today I want to talk to you about a very important goal, and that is that second goal, the college degree completion rate, because as community college trustees, I believe that this must be our number one goal. It is our great challenge, but it's work that we must do. So the question is, how can we work together to impact the college degree completion rate in our respective cities and all across America? We have a few ideas in Philadelphia, but quite honestly, I also came here to learn and to hear about the things that you're doing in your colleges. Across the country, many mayors, unfortunately, have kept education at a pretty arm's length relationship because they know that they don't directly control the levers of what makes education work. And yet, as mayors, we all know that there is no greater barrier to increasing economic development, having safer cities, than education systems that are not functioning properly. And so despite the well-meaning advice of many of my local and national advisors who said, all the things that you want to do are fantastic, don't get involved in education. You can't solve it. It won't happen during the course of your time. If you touch it, you own it. I said, thanks a lot. I really appreciate that advice. I will ignore that particular advice. It's my city, it's my town, these are my children, these are our young people, and it is my responsibility to make sure, I believe it's my responsibility to make sure that they get a high-quality education. And whether you're young or young at heart, that is a part of the job. I decided to take on this incredibly complex issue of education by setting the two goals that I mentioned earlier, and by recently appointing myself to the Community College Board of Philadelphia. In Philly, the mayor makes all of the appointments. You go through a nominating process. I filled out the application. I sat for an interview, and somehow, some way, I still got on the board. So, and just as education, I have to tell you that when I went through the nominating process, and I know all the folks on the nominating committee, and they said, "You're really coming to this interview?" I said, I filled out my application. I expect to go through the process like everyone else. I'm very serious about doing this. And I think a few were actually kind of stunned. Fortunately, they still said yes. As I mentioned, just as education is the keystone to what we want to accomplish in my city and your city, so it is for our nation as well. And our sentiments are shared at the highest level, and certainly by someone at a higher level of government than myself right here in Washington. In his recent State of the Union address just a few weeks ago, President Barack Obama spoke about America's workforce, and therefore, how do we help ensure America's vitality by, quote unquote, guaranteeing every child access to a world-class education. He talked about the importance of pre-K and a strong K-12 STEM education, the need to redesign high school curricula to provide hands-on job training opportunities, and the importance of making college accessible and affordable to everyone. And that is certainly a conversation that we must continue to have about affordability and financial literacy. The theme of the President's speech was opportunity for all. And that begins with quality, affordable education. And that is certainly something that community colleges and our presidents and trustees, faculty, and teachers, and students know a great deal about. We have a major role to play in the realization of President Obama's vision for our nation. So let me tell you a little bit about, as I mentioned, my hometown, Philadelphia, fifth largest city of the United States of America, the absolute birthplace of freedom, liberty, and democracy in the United States. I'll tell you about some of the work we're doing, the challenges we face, and some of the successes that we've had. Philadelphia was on the rise, as many of you certainly know, at the beginning of the 20th century. A manufacturing giant with expanding neighborhoods. Philadelphia was considered the workshop to the world. We made virtually everything and sold it everywhere. After World War II and through the tumultuous 60s and 70s, manufacturing jobs declined sharply, removing a large source of living wage, family-sustaining jobs, for many without a college degree. Some of our residents moved out to the suburbs in search of high-quality schools for their children and safer neighborhoods. Others moved to other cities where job markets were growing. And overall, the city's population dropped dramatically. But Philadelphia today is turning the corner, and it's on the rise once again. The 2010 census showed that the city's population grew for the first time in 60 years. Let me tell you a few other stats. Last year, we saw the homicide rate drop by 40% since 2007 when I came into office. The city had not seen that level since 1967, and violent crime is down by 15% as compared to 2007 overall. We have a strong, balanced economy in three major sectors: education and medicine, hospitality and tourism, and our higher education and research institutions, healthcare and pharmaceuticals. These are growing sectors, as well as I've stated the goal that Philadelphia will in fact be the #1 green city in the United States of America, and sustainability and energy efficiency are growing sectors of our economy as well. We have one of the highest concentrations of colleges and universities of any region in the United States of America. We have 101 colleges and universities in the tri-state area, 5 medical schools. 1 out of every 5 doctors in the United States of America does some part of his or her training in our great city. We have great companies like Comcast, expanding their business campus, building new buildings. The Navy Yard is the greatest turnaround of any closed naval facility in the United States of America, with now more than 10,000 people working at the Philadelphia Navy Yard and growing. And naturally, of course, and no disrespect to Washington, D.C., but we do have some of the most iconic landmarks anywhere in the United States of America. I love all the great buildings here. There's only one Liberty Bell, there's only one Independence Hall, and if you want to see it, you got to come to Philadelphia. All of these sectors certainly create jobs and economic opportunity for our residents and those who might come to move into the city. But about 60% of these jobs require some form of post-secondary education. But Philadelphians, in many instances, just don't have the necessary education or skills. Remember, the percentage of Philadelphia residents with a 4-year degree is about 25%. In a ranking of the nation's 100 large urban areas, we are still far down on the list for college degree attainment. We have work to do. And to add to that issue, as if we don't have enough challenges, 26% of Philadelphians live below the federal poverty line. It is the highest poverty rate of the top 10 cities in the United States of America. It came down recently, but not enough. And so herein lies the heart of a great problem and a challenge. A problem that for many of you may sound very familiar. How do we educate our citizens? We need to build that workforce and the strong workforce development programs and systems to take advantage of thriving industries right in our own backyards in many instances. And we can do that through education and workforce development. And we want those higher paying, family-sustaining jobs. I want them in Philadelphia, you want them in your city, but we need an educated workforce to attract the investment and the business opportunities. And that leads me back to our 2 goals for education attainment in the city, specifically the second goal for higher education degree attainment, and what have we done to increase the percentage of Philadelphians with a 4-year or 2-year degree. In 2008, I established, again on that first day, the city's Office of Education, located right on the first floor. The mayor's office in Philadelphia is located in room 215. I put our education office in room 115. It is literally directly below my office, easily accessible from the street. I appointed Dr. Lori Schur as the city's chief education officer. She's a part of my cabinet and a well-regarded and trusted advisor. The office has grown and now have a staff of 10, although some days it appears that they have about 25 people down there. It's their mission to work on all of the goals that I've laid out, but again, specifically that second one. Helping to establish the financial stability of the school district of Philadelphia, creating a high-performing K-12 portfolio system that will provide Philadelphians access across the board to high-quality education and as many options as our parents want, and strengthening the pipeline through middle school to high school and on to college completion. In 2010, we launched something called Philly Goes to College. It's an effort within the Mayor's Office of Education, which literally serves as a one-stop shop for anyone seeking information. Whether you're 18 or 81, you can get information about going to school in Philadelphia, how to apply, how to finance that education, and persevere until you reach graduation. And during my first year in office, I began meeting with college and university presidents from all of the various institutions in the city and in our suburban areas, because I wanted to discuss with them the education agenda for our city and for our residents. And out of those meetings, one of many projects we've worked on involves a group of college administrators meeting with my staff in the mayor's office. And I've come to call them our College Completion Committee. And as the committee developed strategies around increasing the number of Philadelphians with 2- and 4-year degrees, we realized that we did not have all the data we needed to truly understand the challenges, but also to tell our story. We needed to understand what Philadelphia high school graduates were experiencing once they had actually enrolled in a college or university. How prepared were they for college-level classes? And are they performing at the same level as the general student body? We needed data. If we could answer these questions, perhaps we could better prepare our Philadelphia students for college and therefore help to ensure that they would graduate with their degree. And shortly after my first meeting with the college and university presidents, and since we, in Philadelphia at least, and Pennsylvania, we don't have a statewide K-16 data collection system, I requested that each institution provide the data on enrollment, preparation, and completion rates of our students who had graduated from a high school in Philadelphia and currently studying at their respective institutions. This data was analyzed for a report, the findings which have heavily influenced our work, and we were able to draw at least two specific conclusions from that data. Through the efforts in our high schools and college prep programs, the number of college applications has in fact dramatically increased, but the number of students actually enrolling in college has remained the same. And the second, once enrolled, many students find it difficult to see their way through the work and on to college degree completion. Let me give you a little bit of a breakdown. After the first year, 80% of Philadelphia college students, that is students in area colleges who graduated from a Philadelphia high school, move on to their second year, 80%. Similarly, those students complete their second year at about a 70% rate. It seems like pretty good numbers, but then when we drill a little further down and look closely at the time to degree analysis, students in good academic standing with enough credits to be considered juniors by their third year in school, the percentage of Philadelphia students then drops to 35%. And that corresponds to a four-year graduation rate of about 28%, even with the low six-year graduation rate of 52%. It's not just about matriculation. It must be about graduation. The completion rates at Community College of Philadelphia specifically are in many instances comparable to other large urban institutions, and unfortunately, they've been traditionally low, in the range of 10 to 20%. And although we will conduct further research to determine the cause behind these findings, we know through anecdotal evidence and by speaking to college counselors that many of our students do not continue their studies for a variety of reasons, such as A, they can't afford to, B, in many instances, they're just not prepared for the coursework, or even that there's so little guidance about what courses to take in order to complete their degree. These numbers also reinforce that there is a great deal of work to be done to keep these students in school and guide them on to successful graduation. College affordability is also a huge deciding factor for many students and their families. In Philadelphia, we've tried to make it a priority in our strategy to increase degree attainment. We've organized an annual citywide Financing College campaign in which we assist students with completing the FAFSA forms and the rest of the financial aid process. We've offered more than 50 workshops throughout the city. We've also had literally call-in, dial-in campaigns to raise awareness in partnership with one of our local TV stations. We conduct professional development workshops for counselors to give them accurate and timely information so that they, in turn, can more effectively help the students with whom they're working. And to mitigate reliance on loans, we offer writing workshops to students preparing to write competitive essay applications for scholarships. We've seen an increase in the number of students applying to the prestigious Bill and Melinda Gates Millennium Scholarship Program, to name just one. Overall, I believe that we still must do so much more to emphasize to students and their families that they must consider the full cost of attendance at a college or university to which they are applying, in addition to academic and social considerations, to find the institution that's either a perfect or a better fit for that young person. For decades, we've focused on college access, helping students to apply to colleges and talking them through the financial aid paperwork, with a particular focus on students in the African American, Latino, and other minority communities, urban school districts, and those who are economically disenfranchised. We can see from our efforts that we've had some success. More students are applying, but now it is time for colleges and universities, and I believe that it is in particular our great challenge as community college leaders to make sure that we pick up this great challenge and responsibility and help these students get through to completion at our respective institutions. It's not enough that students have applied and were accepted. It's not enough that many have completed a year or a year and a half. We need to make the commitment to make sure that they get all the way through and walk across that stage with their degree in their hands and ready for the workforce or further education. A couple last thoughts. Let me speak now as a trustee at CCP. As mayor, I chose to serve on the Board of Trustees of Community College because I do, in fact, truly believe that community colleges have a major role to play in creating educational opportunities for all, and because I also believe that we can, in fact, affect the change that we want to see in reaching our goal of college degree completion and creating a more educated workforce. We must examine our practices at the college level and shift our focus to degree completion with the intent to bring more qualified employees into our local economy. I believe that this is the most important issue and challenge facing our community colleges, and as board members, we must push our institutions to address this particular challenge and problem. In Philadelphia, CCP, truly, really the City College of Philadelphia, I think it's perfectly poised to provide Philadelphians with that opportunity to lead into a variety of careers in our region's biggest industries, opportunities like career and technical education training and programs. Again, let me give you one example. The Philadelphia Police Department recently changed one of their entrance requirements to become a Philadelphia police officer. Applicants must have earned at least 60 college credits with a GPA of at least 2.0. My office is working with the school district, community college, and Temple University, one of our city's great four-year institutions, to develop a CTE program in criminal justice. This unique program will allow students to earn college credits while they are still in high school. That will align a curricula on the criminal justice program, associate degree requirements, and bachelor degree programs, and the police academy's academic rigorous requirements as well. Community colleges have a role to play for the larger academic community as well. Many times they serve as a bridge for students to begin their studies and often then transfer to four-year institutions. For example, we're also now working with the Complete College America program, and that's a pilot project not only in Philadelphia but also in Baltimore and Washington, D.C. We were honored to be invited to participate, and this program is called the Guided Pathways to Success, also known as GPS. CCA is a national organization that works with states to create policies and programs to improve and increase college completion rates. The GPS project, though, is focused on cities rather than states with the same goal of helping them increase their college completion rates among their own residents. In Philadelphia, and this should come as no surprise to you, we're finding that one of the major challenges that students at CCP face is not being able to complete prerequisite developmental coursework in time to enroll in first-year courses. Using strategies learned from CCA, CCP administrators have developed a plan to accelerate completion of the developmental coursework with placement into first-year courses much sooner. We also found that students receive little guidance from advisors as to which courses will help them complete their chosen degree program on time. And often, students who do graduate have more college credits than required simply because they took a course that ultimately actually didn't even help them in their own major. As a result, the two largest CCP programs, liberal arts and science and technology, are being redesigned to intensely counsel students through their requirements. With guided curricular pathways, more students are expected to graduate on time and use less of their federal and state granted financial aid, more than often taking on more debt than necessary. And for transfer students, CCP will work with four-year institutions, namely Temple and Drexel, to align curricula in key areas to raise students' chances of success after their transfer. Lastly, community colleges have a major role to play in partnering with organizations that offer other type of workforce development training. Beginning in January of 2013, the City of Philadelphia announced a partnership, as Matt mentioned, with Goldman Sachs' 10,000 Small Businesses Initiative to help create jobs and economic growth by providing local small businesses with practical business education, support services, and access to capital. I'm proud to say that our community college delivers the business